Let's use this as an opportunity for a second. And I agree with the decision Nick made, which was, wow, a fill needs to be played here, and then we're going to change the sound. The fill that you played and the sound that you went to really signal, because you went from something that was a louder song to something that's potentially going to be softer, is that something different should happen. I actually agree with that, because the way that you were playing in the moment was really, hey, bam, this was it. I said it, right? If you know that you're going to play longer, take your time. Anybody ever had a meal that it's like your favorite dish, but you've only got this much of a portion of it, right? Do you scarf it down, or do you go, I'm going to make this last for a minute?
He eat it like a mouse.
Eat it like a mouse. Take your time. I had my oldest grandson, Nigel. He has the ability, and I really envy this, he has the ability to eat one chip at a time in several bites. He does. I've never seen, he loved Doritos, and he would, I would take him to the movie when he was young, and he would one chip at a time. Same chip. Like, how do you do that, right? So now, you got that with your solo. Take your time. We have a great example of a solo to learn from and how to put some ideas together in this tune. We're going to talk about it in a second. 1, 3, 2, 3. To work for, you all of a sudden start trying some stuff and going for it. And that's what we want, is to give you the ability to try and go for it yourself, not me instructing you on everything. Right? What did I just stop? What section is that? Rehearsal number what? Pickups to da, do, ah. That's pickups to what?
49.
So pickups to 49? pick up the 49. Everybody sing it. Ready? And 1, 2.
Da, 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 do, da. Da, do, da, do, da, do, da, do.
Good. So not bad. This is the case where I would possibly give them license to change, or as editor-in-chief, actually change rhythmically what's written in a few places. So here's what I need. Somebody tell me what that is.
Solely.
Okay, it's a soli. Agree.
I think it's a transcription of a solo someone else played at some point.
Okay, so let's deal with who that someone else might be. Miles Davis. This is taken from Miles Davis's solo from the very famous recording. What's the name of the recording?
Freddie Freeloader?
Well, Freddie Freeloader's the name of the tune, but believe it or not, a long time ago, in ancient times, long time ago's days, we used to have records that had several tracks on them. So Freddie Freeloader was not released as a single, but it was a part of an album. What was the name of that album?
Was it So What or something like that?
So What is also on that album.
I knew this, but I forgot it.
Flamenco Sketches is on that album. All Blues is on that album. It is an album called Kind of Blue, which is still the top selling jazz recording of all time. I think we're like approaching you all the time, so this is going to be a good place for me to kind of wrap this up. You're too young to listen to that album and understand it, right? Maybe?
No.
What grade are you?
9th.
9th grade?
Mm-hmm.
9.
9th?
No.
9.
9th.
8th.
Thank you.
Banana.
8, okay, 8. I was in about 8th grade when I was hearing this record on a regular basis.
I have this on my playlist.
Oh, all right, so I want you to look at your playlist, and I want you to, there's usually a column that says how many times it's been played. I want you to look at that number, and get that number into the hundreds, right? The reason I first heard a lot of this stuff, even before I knew what it was I had a junior high school band director who played these recordings in the band room all of the time. Mind you, this was not jazz band. I mean, I was just in plain old concert marching band. But when, at the end of class, he would put on these recordings. When I walked in, he would put on those recordings. I spent all of my life in the band room, and he'd have these recordings on. So I heard this stuff all of the time. I'd like to think just that he was doing it because he wanted us to hear great music. I think he was doing it because he taught junior high school band. These folks behind me understand, don't you? Right?
It's fine.
But I heard this stuff every day, and I knew what Miles sounded like. Right? This is so iconic that there's a singer by the name of John Hendricks who put lyrics to this and did vocalies with. He has Al Jarreau on it, Bobby McFerrin, George Benson, and himself. And they put lyrics to all of those iconic solos on there. Right? Bobby McFerrin starts off doing Wynton Kelly, and then Al Jarreau takes over doing Miles Davis. And he sings, "There's this cat, his name is Freddie. That cat's a bartender, well known by everyone here." Right? And the great thing about checking out that recording, if I couldn't hear it from Miles's playing, I could definitely hear from Al Jarreau how he was articulating that. And this is why I say I would give license to change some of these rhythms. It's actually written with a big dotted half note at 49, right? And so you all are playing that correctly. Da do da because that's what's written. But that's actually not what Miles plays. And if I want to learn from the greats, I'm going to learn how they articulate so that I can have a better sense of articulating this music. So when I listen to the recording, see if I can do this real quick. I should have it in here. And I'm going to teach you all a trick. Band directors, you're going to love this trick. Don't have the tune in here. Never fear, I can find it. Anybody have Freddie Freeloader on their cell phone?
My Amazon Music got signed out.
See how good my service is working here. So y'all are gonna love this trick. If you have a guitarist in your band, you'll love this trick. You don't have, I have a dongle, but I have nothing to plug into right away. But watch this. Turn it up and put it up to your. If you ever have trouble that you need everybody to hear it,
When in a pinch, use the guitar.
listen to Miles' articulation when he starts this solo. And look at your parts in 49. He doesn't stay with the entire solo, but you're going to hear parts of it. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Wynn Kelly. Ding, ding. Oh, that was. Here we go. Now listen how long he plays this note. Now here's what I love. Look around the room. Right? So now, we have gone from I'm directing everything in this and telling them what to do. And I've really just spent the whole time this morning empowering them on how they do. And now all of a sudden they're making the decisions. I'm moving the onus from me as a director to you as students, right? You being as involved in your education as I am, and being active participants in the music making process, which is ultimately what we want. For you to be the participants to make the decisions, to hold each other responsible. Any question about any of this that we did before this morning? And am I at the right time? I'm trying to make myself not go too long. I thought he told me an hour and 15. So, and then we take a break and then we start another at 10:30, right? Okay. So, I'm like 5 minutes behind, but I just want to make sure that. I tell you what, let's take the break here, and then if there's any questions, we'll start the next session with questions about that. And then I think he wanted me to talk specifically some more things about improvisation as well. So we'll get into that in the next session. Please thank these wonderful folks. August, I never got their name.
Alex.
Alex, that makes life easy.
He's actually a high schooler. He's just filling in because none of our piano players came today for the.
Ian, ladies and gentlemen. Nick,
Can we stop tapping our foot now?
no. Isaiah, Krish, Aaron,
Yep.
and Aiden. All right, let's take a break. It said 10:30, but, you know, let's stretch that. It could be like 10:37 or so. Give yourselves time to stretch your legs. You should probably go warm up my coffee. I'm pretty sure it's cold.
You guys should go stretch your legs, drink some
I can't
water.
make it stop.
Oh, yeah.
Tempo hasn't changed yet.
They're the guinea pigs.
Yep.
I mean, contestants.
No, they know. They know. They know. They know.
I'm gonna go warm this up. I'll be right back.
Yes, it's all you, Nick. We're gonna start the next tune and we're all just gonna leave and it's just gonna be you. It'll only be you, Nick.
The heat death of the universe is gonna occur, and you're just gonna
60
sit there
bar
playing
drum solo.
I was like, 1,009 people here.
We should compare notes.
Oh, you got that one. Oh, you got that one. Yeah, I needed that.
We got no used butters.
Oh,
Oh no!
keep tapping your foot.
Laugh, Aaron.
Which one does it help when he said keep
This?
going?
This?
Yeah. I was like,
I read that we needed a colored shirt.
Yep.
So
No, that's good.
oh, thank you.
I also did that.
I gotta go fast, and I can grab one, or you can grab one while you want.
I can grab one. I can run and grab one.
Man, you have like a business shirt on. I thought it was just a collared shirt, but no, it's business.
He's been up right now.
Big business.
As long as that drink stop.
Yeah, as long as I've got my suit and tie. Full drip every day. Every day?
Every day I'm I should just show up to school and take the test one time. I was surprised he had that. So
You
I'm
know
so
what?
curious.
I'm just gonna wear the same outfit.
I'm gonna come for some of it.
Literally wearing a flannel line shirt.
Every single day that high pin will get so warm.
Guys, you can wear anything you
Nice to
want.
see you again. Nice job last night. Can't believe it. Are you still playing this?
Yeah.
Good. Yes. The French horn?
Yes.
Yes. Trish, I was really happy to see you. I was like, oh my God, when I heard you last night too, it was like, it's really fun hearing, you know, you guys last night. So, good. Freddie's got a little love here. He's
Yeah.
like, I like it. Good. You really sound like it. It's so pretty. Don't ever stop. Just so you know, my saxes, of all the saxes there, one was gone. How many are saxophone players?
0.
One. Because remember I moved everybody over before?
Yeah.
There's one of them was a saxophone. All of the other ones play something, so good stuff. Yeah. They can play the other things. And then I did one of the trumpets.
Lunch money.
One player, and he's playing trumpet.
Both of our trumpets here are
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh, Aaron, I forgot you.
How much memory is
Wait, was the jazz performance recorded last night? Or was it not? Or was it?
There was a camera.
There was a, I did see
It was rolling.
It was rolling.
Was
I don't know if it was webcasting or if it was recording.
I saw the
was
person behind the
live on
camera,
YouTube or something.
and like during Caravan, during like the last like
Yeah, I saw-
12
I
measures,
saw
they're just
them
like
going
dancing, and then it's like starts slowing down. It's like that's fun. Nice.
Oh, Caravan was,
Hold it down.
that sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to go walk over.
Caravan.
There is a recording. I don't know where.
I should not have this. My hand hurts deeply, and I put blood, sweat. Oh yeah, that's been there. I need to stop picking my skin, but yeah, I put blood, sweat, and tears in this because yesterday and today this has been bleeding. I've cried over this way too many times, and it's so hot in here, and in the workroom, and in the band room.
Skyrim player?
Yeah, I'm a bass player.
Yeah, so I keep having to wipe blood off my strings, so that's great. Very nice.
Have you ever changed it?
No, because I've been playing these bass not in a year. 'cause this
And are
is-
you an orchestra?
Yeah, and band.
Someone else was playing drums.
And then I'm going to be doing sound. So I played that in orchestra, I played tuba and band, and I'm going to be doing sound.
I think it'd be very funny if they just combine orchestra, band, and choir without telling them anything. That'd be pretty
I mean,
cool.
to be fair, for one of our band pieces, we're saying
Thanks.
It sucks.
What is
We're
this?
saying one note, but I hate
It's a
it.
fruit and nuts. Can I have this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
They did kazoos at Patrick Marsh for their.
This looks disgusting.
They did.
Yes, they played kazoo.
I was in Fiddle Club for 2 years and we never did anything
I
not with
cannot
a
say
string
no to a
instrument.
gift.
Very bad.
We never did anything without a string instrument.
We just have to say,
I can't say. Well, I can't say
We
no
have
to
to
a gift.
sing, like,
Krish.
Way too much. Well, the flute just like played whatever notes at the end. We're singing. Not well either.
About our choir, specifically our school
I've
choir.
never heard our choir.
I have when I have to like leave the band room because it gets way too loud. So I just go sit in like
You have
a
to
hallway.
leave the band room. That's horrible.
I choose to.
Oh,
Not horrible.
why would you torture yourself like that?
Why don't you just skip class and go to band every day?
Yeah. Just sit in the band room,
Just stare.
I mean, I actually have believe that I could.
Cry.
But
cry.
that's the reason that I leave.
Blood, sweat, and tears in the band room.
It's
So if y'all
happened
are
many times.
interested, again, no pressure, just knowing that this is an opportunity. So 1:30 is the improv
Anybody need
stuff.
a,
Okay,
anybody
so
need a
beginning,
schedule?
Intermediate, advanced, and a base.
Bass
Okay.
is
Which, but like,
overbands.
she understands as a bass player that like 99% of the time, all people ask you to do is play your part.
I'm fine with that completely.
I know, but like she's gonna understand like, okay, I know that's where you all live. Let me help you. Maybe get
I
you
like my
on.
comfort zone. It's comfortable.
It's a good place. But anyway, so that's at 1:30, and people can help you find out where that is if you want.
I'll find it.
And then at
I'll try to find it.
2:30.
Burning a hole.
2:30 are the master classes. Okay, trumpet Marty Robinson. He's the trumpet guy with the UW Oshkosh. Trombone Darren Steyrud. He's a little younger than me, but he gets started in a bunch of stuff. He's great, fantastic guy. Saxophone, B flat, that would be you. That's kind of, and then E flat saxophone is Dan Wallach, who teaches some normal stuff here. And then rhythm section will all be on in the auditorium in the PSC. So if you want, you're welcome to stay for that. I won't be here this afternoon. I'm not coming back till tonight. And I do have lunch. Does anyone want to stay for lunch, or are you all heading out? Okay. Please don't lose this.
My brother's
That should get you a hot dog lunch.
At what time?
No.
Yeah, what time is that?
Lunch is right after this, from 12 to 1:30.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, please.
Take one, but no guarantee.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I'll be so full off of these 3 granola bars.
You want one or you're not sure? Just in case.
I gotta be so good. Thank you so much, Fish, for the hospitality. I just can't. I literally can't say no.
Share. Just make sure you watch it.
Share. Yep. Put the hot dog in half.
All right. Here, let's
I
go.
blame Krish completely.
If I took one of the improvisation.
You know, it was so good. I think I just gotta have it.
I think, like, to me, the problem is
It's
like
only 3.
in the middle.
Always
but
had a third.
I think I would try intermediate, knowing that some of it might be above your head, but that's okay.
Number
Like,
3.
get exposed to it and see what happens.
So good.
So, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, all of you, I mean, have taken enough solos, but I would say try.
He gave
try
me
intermediate.
3. He gave me 3 of these.
You have to eat them all at the same time.
I'm like Kuka Lane. I literally can't say no to hospitality.
Your vibe solo was great last night.
I was an Irish warrior from Celtic folklore, and his whole thing was he literally couldn't say no to hospitality. So
What's that?
I am Kuka Lane.
For real?
I cannot eat your disgusting granola.
That was Aurora, that was her first public trombone conference.
This tastes like home.
No, she couldn't do the
You're fine, Krish.
That was the first time I played a solo on Caravan.
Yes.
In public.
Yeah, all the Caribbean was the first. There's a lot of firsts up here. First and only.
My first non-silent solo.
Yeah.
Yes.
First solo to remember to actually make sure you could be heard.
Okay, but that was actually really awkward because during Freddie, when his amp was off, I didn't want to turn mine on, so it was just like silent bass playing in the background, and there was nothing.
Yeah, the big man.
Yeah, because like you didn't have your amp on, I was too scared to turn mine on, so it was just like silent bass, where if you're in the back, there's just nothing. It was great.
All by yourself. Look at that.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's not it.
Well, Krish, I thank you, but the same time it's all over. No more. Take out a 4th one.
I could have said variety.
Can
Yeah,
you?
we have a couple of.
I don't want to learn how to play trombone.
Can't be that hard.
Why? Why do I have to be first?
You're a trumpet player.
I don't know.
You're the best trumpet player in their band.
I am trumpet. I am the trumpet. I'm the instrument leader.
Do I like stable or do I put this back on?
I think Miles Davis is a little older.
Oh, why did it just say Aiden?
I don't know. Hey Aaron, why does your notes just say
Yeah, you have to
Aiden?
get a new one.
No, I'm gonna staple it back.
Because one time I played while you were like.
Monty, no.
You have to spend the long
Oh, I swear to God.
Do you guys,
I
you
don't
guys know
play
what? This was
piano.
big news a couple years ago. You know those like disposable water bottles people talked about? With and stuff?
I want to learn them.
You know how
because-
like a couple years ago it was like big news that people were getting disposable water bottles like once a year?
Oh, the little orbs?
Yeah.
Because I want to go into the music education field, so
I swear to God, the government made those in that round.
it would probably be helpful for piano.
That was a big news like 3 years ago. And then our people were like, guys, look, this is big news. And then no one talked about it.
So I'll tell you my story here. I was a bass player, or at least I thought I was going to be a bass player. My brother played piano in the high school jazz band. I was 3 years behind him.
Got a bass.
I was learning bass. So my thought had always been that
Play from behind.
he and I would have been, we would play together, he would play piano, I would play bass. She was just, I was also very cool, so I was always, you should really use it, but people were trying to figure out stuff. I was just trying to figure stuff out.
I have to play guitar.
Our high school went 10, 11, 12, so ninth grade, I was still a junior.
Kind of like ours.
Is yours like that?
Currently, our ninth
If you
grade.
never give me a granola bar again,
Yeah,
it'll be too
that's,
soon.
that's how it was for me. So we were never in school.
No, please. No, please. It was so good. I just simply stopped.
I genuinely don't know.
High school.
I have to be.
And then a bass player showed up.
It was so good.
Next year I was still in high school. He had graduated.
Oh yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday.
Chris was eating pizza, and then he took a huge swig of water, and I said, "Whoa, Chris, calm down, don't puke." Just splashed into his
That's when my
hand.
life totally switched from bass to
So it's piano,
And I got in trouble for
I still played.
That's not very
bass.
good.
I still played for years after that. But I really became.
No, Chris, no. What is it?
I started off with and baritone.
I play euphonium and concert.
So, my mouth has and all that.
And then eventually two.
Yeah, I'm starting to
You guys like the song Photoshop?
Does Macklemore have a producer tag? I need to know.
Macklemore Studios.
Yeah, it's that little girl.
Yeah, I want to learn how to do it.
No.
You know, in our full jazz band setup, we actually have 5 minutes too.
There you go.
I'm not
Yeah.
sorry, little girl.
We had a concert last night.
Is that actually?
All right, man, we want to figure out what we got to play.
Whatever you want.
No, you're not.
Caravan. Yeah, Aiden, do your caravan solo. Caravan.
Aiden,
Oh, no, Nick is the drummer.
I didn't bring any water. Is there like water?
the water fountains are actually on for the first time in 2 years.
Yeah. 20 years.
COVID isn't
Only
water.
do
COVID is not water.
But when kids started doing this under there, they're like, alright, maybe we should just.
Maybe we should get some water.
We also have, we do like blues by 5, like thank you.
Oh, I heard it, yeah. We can do that, let's do that as well. We can start from working on playing on the blues. Let's leave it here. Doing that deep flat. You're all dutiful. It's like, there's no sound. Dutifully turns the piano off.
Yeah.
there's a couple of things that's going on and that I want to get to. Telling y'all how I learned to keep time going, right? Within in my, there's some other things that I learned, things that I learned in the band, right? And that is oftentimes I would go into the band room, and I know that you're here with me on this, right? You go into the band room, and this is the sound that you hear. So, this is before band, you just come into the room, and you're getting your instruments warmed up, you're getting the sounds. What do you do when you walk into the band room? Ready, set, go. Is that how you are when you go into the band room? Immediately you sit behind the drums? Is that what you do?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? What about those other times? What do you do?
I don't know.
No?
Chris is usually hogging the drum set at the beginning.
Oh. So you usually standing off going, man, I wish you'd let me sit down to kick sometime. So there's another drummer named Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and does Chris often get on the drum set first?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would Chris be doing in this moment? Everybody else, when you walk into the band room, you getting your instruments
Playing metal
out,
beats.
you get ready to play, ready, set, go. Alex, either Alex, let's pick on this Alex, because this Alex doesn't necessarily spend every day in rehearsal with you. Can you tell me what Ian was just playing? This is Ian.
No.
Okay. Ian, can you tell me what Isaiah was just playing?
Long tones.
Good. Isaiah, can you tell me what Aiden was playing?
I think I heard lip syncs.
Okay. Krish, can you tell me what Ian was doing? Okay. August, can you tell me what Krish was doing? Okay. Can anybody tell me what Aaron was doing?
He's doing like arpeggios.
Aaron
Like
stuff.
ability.
Good, right? Right? That's actually pretty decent. That you heard that. And if you start off when you pick up your instrument and you're doing long tones and arpeggios and things like that, oh, that's great. Sometimes I get a feeling that that's not necessarily the case. I think that this happened by way of experiment because I said do what you do. And getting somebody out here agreeing with me, right?
Mr. Melrose always emphasizes wise warm-ups.
Because I emphasize it.
One of the things that we get used to practicing is the ability to shut our ears off and hear only ourselves. And we're playing a music that requires you to hear and know what everybody else is doing. That's not just in this music, that's in any music. To hear and understand what everybody else is doing, right? But we get in a room and we immediately shut the ears off. So I did a little bit of an experiment, and you'll notice it actually worked. I did not tell you all what we were going to start with, did I? What did I actually do, Alex?
You started, for the warm-up, you start playing the, like, Tiger Blues by 5, and then everyone joined in, and then you started.
And did everybody join in right away? Who was the first to join in? Yeah. Alex was like, oh, yeah, that's what we're doing? Okay. Jumping up. Now, there was strength in numbers, because there were two of us. Me and Alex against the world. And then all of a sudden, somebody realized, hey, something is happening. Let me get in on that. Now everybody was there, without me ever saying, hey, we're getting ready to play Blues by 5. All of a sudden, just getting everybody to listen. Wait, what's that? And then we were on the same page. And finally, I didn't even count it off, I don't think. I did something that indicated play from the top of the form. Bam, and we were all there together. Learning to warm up together is can be one of the most valuable exercises that you learn. Am I saying don't do long tones and arpeggios and scale work like you were doing? No, I'm not saying don't do that at all. When do you do that? Before you come into the band room or before you come into the rehearsal. Which I know in school is sometimes kind of hard to do that. I understand. You find a way to at least get the mouthpiece up and warming the mouthpiece up. Get my lips flexible, whatever it is, I'm warming up so that once we hit the band room, we can warm up together. And what you actually practice in doing that, what we just did, is you practice keeping the ears open to the possibility of what can happen. Because I treat every moment that we're in a rehearsal as an opportunity to make music. Yes, we're rehearsing, but even when I'm rehearsing, my goal is to make music. Yes, we're warming up, but even in warming up, my goal is to make music. Every opportunity becomes an opportunity to make music. And even beyond that, to make music with another person. When I can connect with another human being, that's it for me right there. I am not one of those that's about, hey, look what I can do, and so I'm practicing me mode. I'm actually finding out, how can Alex and I hook up? How can Nick and I hook up? How can Ian and I hook up? Right? That's what I'm thinking about. So that can start in the warm-up. Before I start in with what I want to do on this, because we're going to talk about some improvisation things, any comments or questions about what we did in the first session? Helpful, not helpful? Got a thumbs up? Yeah.
So say like we're getting the groove going, and then you get into playing the piece, and like from your perspective, it's maybe not holding that time in the same way. I mean, and you kind of did it a couple times where you just brought the lyrics, the time is physical back. I mean, is there?
Yeah, we're doing constant reminders. It's not like, parents, right? Parents in the room, right? It's not like you tell your kids something one time and bam, now it's fixed forever. I told little Johnny to make his bed one morning, and now every day since, that bed is made. No, it doesn't happen like that. So yes, we are doing the constant reminders, but my reminders are always trying to get them back on track with what they were doing to do it, not simply be reminding, hey, time is on, right? So not once did I say, or let me not put it that way, let me ask you, how many times did I say this morning, hey, you're rushing, hey, you're dragging?
0.
Right? Yet we were effectively working on time, right? And it's all a part of, the core belief that I have finally formed over years of teaching is that I believe in positivity, right? And what positivity means to me is not, the way we talk about it sometimes in educational circles is everybody gets a trophy, that's what we think positivity. No, that's not what positivity means. Positivity means this. The students will succeed better when they believe that I believe they can. And so the negative reinforcements of, hey, don't drag, immediately says to you that you're doing something wrong. Nick, stop dragging. Come on, it's right here. Come on, Nick, stop dragging. Right? Is less effective than me reminding everybody, come on, time is physical, time is physical, time is physical, time is physical. And letting you fix it yourselves, right? That's ultimately where I made the shift. Because I was one of those too. I used to refer to myself as brutally honest until I figured out that the students were focusing on the brutality part and not the honesty. And so I wasn't being very helpful. So I started trying to find, okay, how do I then get them invested in what it is? And find ways of helping them understand, I believe you can do this, and finding ways to get the results. Besides telling them, hey, you're doing this wrong, or right? Sometimes we have to correct things, I'm not saying that, but that's what positivity means to me, is that my mindset is that y'all are ahead of the game already because you're in this room. You're amongst the cool kids already. Don't laugh at that. I grew up with a movie called Revenge of the Nerds. Anybody remember that movie? And the whole ending scene where everybody who's a nerd and the entire band walks up, right? I have fully embraced that I'm a band nerd, and I love it.
I am a band.
You're a band nerd.
I'm a band kid.
You're a band kid. You see, he hasn't embraced his nerdom yet.
I'm a band nerd.
I have totally embraced my nerddom. I really have, because I recognize how music changed my life. And I used to, when I was in junior high school, before I was in band, I was jealous of the kids that were in band. I was like, man, I wish I could do that. I've embraced that I'm a nerd. And I'm okay with that, right? So now, how can I get us to embrace that as opposed to how can I tell you what you're doing wrong? Right? But I believe that you can do this. I want to turn the page. Sorry, I went like far afield with what you were asking. Any other questions from what we've been doing? Cool. I want to jump into talking about dealing with improvisation. Close your eyes so that nobody feels put on the spot. I am the only person in the room that's going to see this. This is teachers included. Everybody close your eyes. So I'm asking this question of everybody. All right? Nobody's looking. Raise your hand if improvising scares you a little bit. Don't open your eyes, just keep the hands up. You can put them down. Now you may open your eyes again. Those of you who raise your hands, I want you to know you are not alone by a long shot. Those who did not raise your hands, you were alone. Right? This idea scares us a little bit. Right? We're afraid. And even the way that we say that, take a solo. Man, that's such a daunting thing, to take a solo. It means you're the only one responsible for everything in that moment. It's all about you. Right? Here we go. Blues by 5. Ian, you got the first solo. Ready? 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. So let me stop for 1 second. We're starting right at the solo. Okay, ready? Ready? 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. Good. So now, here's my question, Ian. Were you the only person playing?
No.
No? Who else was playing?
Nick.
Anybody else?
Alex.
Anybody else?
I think other Alex.
Anybody else?
August.
So already, this is not a solo. Are you with me? Was there a predetermined, I'm going to play this rhythm? No. You decided that in the moment. Was there a predetermined bass lines must start from this high B flat? You decided that in the moment. Was there a predetermined, I must ride on the ride cymbal because that's the name of it, ride?
No.
No, you decided that in the moment. Are you getting what I'm, everybody's improvising right now. Everybody. So you're not improvising by yourself. That's the first thing to become aware of. So when you start to get, to feel a little bit intimidated, if I have to play this daunting thing called a solo and I'm playing by myself, realize that no, you're not by yourself. You're never alone, right? I'm getting ready to do one of the hippest solos, right? I'm getting ready to pull out my hipness. This is about to be the hippest solo ever, right? So I got the solo. You ready? 1, you ready? 2, 1, 2, 3. Sit down. Kind of hip, right? All I did was rely on you all. I got one note that I know will work, B flat. Woo, I'm getting ready to work this B flat. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Slide. Do that. Slide, 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 do that. Part of taking a solo is realizing that you're not alone and that you can take advantage of the folks that you are improvising with, because everybody is improvising together. Ha ha. It's not a solo. That's first of all. Right? It's not a solo. So when you are improvising what we have traditionally called a solo, what are you actually improvising? Begins with an M and rhymes with melody. Melody, right? You are actually improvising the melody while someone else is improvising what? Backgrounds, we can call it, or begins with A and rhymes with accompaniment. Accompaniment. Someone else is improvising an accompaniment. And we're making choices about that together. So now all of a sudden, when your director points to you and says solo, that moment of fear doesn't have to strike you because you got a village that's in it with you. Most of the time, the issues that we have when we are afraid of improvising is that, what is it that you become, just give me one word that you become afraid of in time to improvise. Go.
Mistake.
Judgment. Squeaking.
Audience.
Fail.
Stage.
What was that?
Stage.
Stage. I feel nothing. Awkward. Right? What was that one you said again, Isaiah?
Wrong notes.
One more time?
Wrong notes.
Anybody have that fear? Right? And why do we feel that we're afraid of wrong notes? And somebody said something.
Because it feels like you have to stay in the scale for a solo.
I got you, but what was the word that you said?
Mistake?
Okay, we're afraid that our wrong note is going to be a mistake. What was the word that you said?
Judgment.
And that somebody is going to judge you based on your making a mistake and playing a wrong note. Bam! There it is, right there. That's what paralyzes us. Right? So I'll go back to my inner band nerddom. When I first got in band, I remember the first day. Here's how I got in band. This is God's honest truth. So one of the other kids in junior high school was like, man, I wish I could be in band. He said, yeah, grabbed me by the arm. He drugged me down to the bedroom. He said, Mr. Burns, he wants to be in band. Okay, what's your name? Reginald. Okay, Reginald, what instrument you want to play? I don't know. Okay, well, come here, let's try this. Okay. And he got a cornet and got me. Okay, so do your lips like this. And I did that. And okay, so I want you to just practice that. Oh, and we're going to start. Here's the book. And just like that, I had a band instrument and I was in band. Right? And so I took the book home and I'm trying to do that thing he was talking about with my lips. And I put the mouthpiece on there. And I'm looking in the book. And I could read by the name of the tune what the title of it was, Hot Cross Buns, right? And so I knew what Hot Cross Buns sounded like, and then underneath that first note on the staff, which I didn't know what it was saying, if you push these two things, that's the sound that you should get. And if you push this, that's the sound. And I went, and all of a sudden, through all of that horrible sounding stuff that I was doing, I heard music start to come through those notes, even though I couldn't do it necessarily. And it excited me. And so I went, my cousin, she was my best friend in the world, right? And so I shared everything. I was like, Wanda, come here, check this out. And she was laughing. I was like, no, but wait a minute, right? The thing that worked, even though it sounded horrible, the notes, if I didn't hit the partial, was the wrong notes. And it sounded like a mistake. I was with my best friend in the world who wasn't judging. So part of this is creating a culture within our band room, in a rehearsal room, that is free of that judgment. And I want you all to understand this. There is nobody in here that is rooting more for you to succeed than the people that are around you. There's not one person sitting here going, oh yeah, I'm waiting for Isaiah to mess it. Yep, see, he missed it right there. No. Just think about the people who come to your concerts. Who comes to your concerts? Right? Grandmama Nim? Y'all know who Nim is? That's Grandmama and them. Grandmama Nim. Right? That's who comes to your concert, right? Yes? Mama Nim. Right? We won't talk about siblings because siblings, you know, they'll, right? But Grandmama Nim and Mama Nim are not waiting for you to mess up. They really are not. And I have never, ever, once in my life played a performance and my grandmother or my mother came up to me afterwards and said, baby, that was nice, but in the 9th bar, you played an F sharp, it should have been F natural. That has never happened at any concert I've ever done, right? Those are people waiting for me to succeed, right? So, wrong notes, and we think we're going to be mistakes, and then that we're going to be judged, okay? So now, can I trade places with you, Alex? We're in the key of B flat, and we're playing a blues. Stay right there, though. Don't go far. We're playing a blues in the key of B flat. Tell me a note that should not work.
A sharp.
I'm sorry?
A sharp.
A sharp? You chose the wrong one. What's another name for A sharp?
B flat.
B flat. That's going to work in a B flat.